Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome to GBX, and this is Let's Talk About Fat. Very weird, very weird title. I'm guessing it's going to talk about all the effects of fat cells in your body and how fat works. Uh, there is, very misconception that people think fat in food is literally just like if you eat it, it will convert into fat. I've heard that many times. Being the gym guy, a lot of people approach me and ask me about that. No, that's not how it works. Protein, carb, fat, all can turn into fat. But yeah, fats are usually higher calories. But in this one, I think he's going to talk about body fats and types of it. Now, I know a bit about it. I know, I think I know a lot more than average person knows because fat is one of those things that people have real misconception about. It's like one of those things. Just say no. Like there was the whole movement in like what 80s and 70s about certain epidemic, and people just point blank say just saying no without really like realizing behind it, right? This is like saying like, oh, by the way, you're thirsty, just drink water. Oh no shit. In this element, there's also that case because right now fat is one of the biggest things that people just have this, like perception about it. Oh, just eat less. Yes, there is that. Just eating less will make you lean, but there is more to it than that. And I don't want to just talk here and just like bore you for 4 or 5 minutes. I'll talk about it when because I get to that portion. If not, I'll just talk about it in the end or something. Let's watch it.
Fat is your most dangerous organ. Yes, organ. While it's often falsely described as a mere expression of laziness or gluttony, fat is essential for health, controlling and guiding crucial processes in your body.
I'm pausing already. Organs, right? It protects your organs, it protects your joints. For women, fat is pretty important. Fat is pretty important. Like 10% lean, like if you have 10% body fat as a man, that is like about equivalent to like 18 or something percent of a woman. They will look identical. Women cannot go to 10% body fat without having like proper, like shutdowns of bodily functions, right? So sometimes like, like sometimes I just did a DEXA scan and I'm like only 17% fat. I want to go into single digits as a woman. I'm like, what are you, high? Do you know how insane you are at 17%? That's I can see the person is like very lean. And I have to explain this like you can't go to single digit without having like real problems.
But if you have too much fat, it starts to disrupt your metabolism, becoming one of the most deadly things that can happen to your body. Today, more people are obese than starving, which is a huge victory. There are all sorts of ideas about the cause of the obesity epidemic, but it really comes down to one thing. For millions of years, humans had to expend a lot of effort to get food and often faced hunger. Our bodies evolved to hold on to every bit of energy. And then suddenly, we had an overabundance of food we didn't need to move much for. We made food hyper-palatable and ultra-processed, with loads of unhealthy fats, salt and sugar.
I think this is bigger point than anything else. If you eat healthy, and people are like, what the fuck is even healthy? That means making food yourself and eating foods that are like, I don't know how to explain it, just food, not fast food, not like something that contains a lot of preservatives and a lot of oils. Oils is the biggest factor. That's what makes fast food. Now a burger. Small, like if you, like, I'm talking about vegetarian here. I don't even know non-vegetarian, like how much calorie you would have. But even as a vegetarian, if you eat a burger, small size like this burger, like I don't have that big of an appetite, like how it seems. It's a challenge for me to eat and maintain like body frame there. The burger, right? I'm like this burger. I know what calories. I know a bowl of like certain like let's just say certain food, lasagna, anything. I know how much calorie that has. A burger. I was genuinely surprised that a small burger that I could just eat in 3-4 bites and that's it. I don't feel like I'm full. 800 fucking calories. You lost your damn mind. 800 calories. Now, proper bowl of food that has like decent amount of like nutrition in it. If you eat like, oh yeah, I ate something, that's like 500-600 calories. A burger that doesn't even fill you up completely has 800 calories. If you eat non-veg burger, like proper burger, like with meat and things, that probably goes over 1,000. So it's the oils. It's like I said, fat. Fat is 9 calories, while carb and protein are 4 calories, right, per gram. is literally more than double. It's 2.25 times. So that is what gets you.
Sugar. Our brains love this, so our food is extremely hard to resist, to the point of being addictive. It's also extremely convenient, cheap, and you get a lot of energy per volume,
Body
so
loves
it's not
fat,
very
by the way.
satiating. This
If you fry anything, it will taste good. Why? Because oil is literally just fat. If you add fat to a food, it tastes good because that's your brain tells you that's evolution. Fat is high calorie. Your body needs calorie. There you go.
leads to most of us regularly overeating without realizing it. And food is aggressively marketed, especially to children. Fat comes with a lot of shame and blame, which is pretty unfair in a world full of things that make you feel nice and are available within minutes. Body fat is also often unfairly villainized, but it's crucially important for your health, and if you don't have enough, you can suffer problems from infertility to a weak immune system, fatigue, mental health.
Infertility. If in men, I guess your testosterone goes down if you're really, really fat. That's a different thing. In women, like I said, if you go below 10%, you stop having your periods. You're probably not going to get pregnant now because your functions are shutting down. That's insane. I've seen pro bodybuilders doing that shit. Like I said, I've seen person in real life, not a pro bodybuilder, but just like insane OCD level. Like, I want to go lean this is my challenge. And like, are you fucking kidding me? You're too lean, man. That is that level. Like, you need to know, like, don't chase Instagram things, right? If I flex now and show you my body, I'll look ripped. Like, you'll be like, oh my God, I don't know if I have a photo, I'll probably post it. Check my Instagram. I'll probably look ripped. But if I just take clothes and sit here, I won't look that ripped. Instagram it's not perfect truth. It's lighting, poses, and shoving your fats in by just, like preparing yourself. I've seen bodybuilders in real life that win competition, they look less ripped than me. And I'm like, I'm not even pro. The fuck? So this whole Instagram stigma is also real.
Health issues and osteoporosis. Still, none of this changes how bad excess fat is for us. So, how does our fat organ become so destructive, and can we help ourselves? What is fat? If you consume more energy than you burn, you store it as triglycerides, an organic battery bustling with energy, collected in a large drop of fat inside a white fat cell. Gain weight and white fat cells expand with fat, lose weight, and they shrink. Only in the last few decades have we
There's more to this. I hope he gets to it.
learned fat's most important job. Fat is an endocrine organ.
I don't know if he's going to get to it. I don't think this video is about that. It's about specific fat science. But I want to get to a certain point that I don't think people know about what I was talking about at the start of the video. If you eat a lot, your fat cell is going to get bigger and bigger. It's going to swell up really big. Oh my God, you're fat now. You get more fat, it will split apart. And now there are two of them. And now the more you do it, it becomes 2, 4, 16. You get the point. Oh my God, I'm too fat now. I want to slim down. You slim down now. Those cells are still there. They're smaller now. But instead of one cell that should have been there in the first place, now it's like, 16, 128, depending how fat you got. Now, if you get too small, that cell becomes really small, smaller than it was original when you were lean. Smaller than that, but you still look fat because it's 128 times more. That's how many cells there are at a given place. Now, those cells don't want to die, obviously. Just like how cancer cell is, they don't want to die. Cells don't want to die. They will signal hormonally, signal your body, oh my God, you idiot, eat. So you look yourself in the mirror, you're not lean, you don't see six-pack abs, but you're starving now. And people are like, oh, I'm just genetically that, I'll just get more hungry. No, you messed yourself up with getting fat in the first place. This is how effed up nature is. Nature doesn't care about fairness. Once you get at that level, now life is pretty hard. This is why sometimes like liposuctions, all that shit is important. They just remove the cell altogether. Sometimes if you're at that point, might as well take the surgery. Probably not, but if you find at a level like I'm getting lean, but I'm so hungry, this is hell. Maybe either like don't worry about getting too lean or like think about that. Because this is a real thing that people don't know about. People just like, oh my God, just eat less. Eat a vegetable, you get lean. It's not that simple. It's the same way as like that epidemic of certain substance few decades ago. People were like, just say no. Yeah, there is more to it than that. It's the whole lifestyle, it's the environment, it's the addiction, there's many things to it. It's just saying just eat a vegetable, it's not going to do it. There's a real scientific element behind it. If you got like 300-400 pounds, there are stories of people like getting like just like getting really lean and being that. There is a certain level of like endorphins that shoot out of you when you're motivation, and maybe that overwhelms the like hunger element of it. You're lucky. A lot of people don't. A lot of people, when they get lean, they can't stay there and they go back to eating, get fat again, like get to depression again because they get shamed into it. You need medical help at that level, sure, but people need to realize like they can't just get lean because it's a real hormonal level. You'll be depressed. It will feel like addiction level symptoms. You'll feel depressed. Your body's screaming at you, eat. You can't focus anymore because you're thinking about food. That's a real thing.
Part of the system that makes and regulates your hormones, chemical signals for your brain, liver, muscles, digestive tract and immune system, making them work correctly together. Unfortunately, if you become overweight and obese, your fat organ and the many hormones it releases turn insane. In adults, fat comes in two types of white fat depots. Most of it is subcutaneous fat, the gooey soft stuff under your skin that insulates against the cold and serves as energy storage. The other one is visceral fat nestled between your organs, providing a soft cushion for your sensitive insides. But it also happens to be more dangerous. These fat cells are super sensitive to stress hormones like cortisol or adrenaline. When they pick up a surge of stress, they release fatty acids directly into your blood and are picked up by your liver as a rapid source of energy. On top of that, your visceral fat is very metabolically active, in a constant hormonal dialogue with the rest of your body. This is also why the health of two people with the same weight and amount of fat can be totally different. If you're pear-shaped and your fat is mostly in your hips or limbs, you're much less at risk than someone apple-shaped with a lot of fat in their torso. Bite by bite.
If you have really high feminine hormones, not about if you're female or not, that is also the case, but even amongst the females, there are like variation. If you're, like that big behind videos you've seen, like that person doesn't look fat, they're just big, and you're like, oh, but they probably have muscles, kinda, but not really. If you have really high female hormones, without going into detail, you'll accumulate fat in your behind area, in your thigh area, around your knees. That won't look you this like apple shape, like he said, it won't look bloated, but if you have this pear shape, it just amplifies. And yeah, now you add muscle, so it will become really curvy. That's a modern culture of like very weird shape, like insane pear shape people. But this is like, yeah, so it depends on your hormone as well. So it is genetical at some level. So it's different for everyone, but yeah, core element is the same.
As you gain unhealthy weight, excess visceral fat triggers a cascade of negative changes all at once. Fat cells bloat up to their limit until they outgrow their blood supply and get starved of oxygen. They become critically stressed or even die. This is bad. If you're overweight or obese, your fat is basically a wounded organ leaking stress and poison into your system. Especially your visceral fat, even more triggered by the extra stress hormones, makes your blood more fatty. This overfeeds your organs like your liver or your muscles, who can't keep up anymore and begin to take damage. The cellular stress and dead fat cells are emergency signals that call your immune system to a fight. Armies of macrophages invade your fat tissue, creating clusters trying to eliminate the cause of the stress, but can't. So they stay and call for more help. In a lean person's fat, immune cells make up about 5% of cells. In an obese person's fat, up to 40%. Active immune cells cause inflammation, bloating up your tissue and releasing even more alarm signals, which is good for a short amount of time when you're sick, but if it becomes chronic, it's like your entire body is under friendly.
Yeah, there's also element of like this could also fuck you up at level like cancer chances are higher because of just total cells and immune system constantly working. Immune system is great, but it also sometimes attack you. Chances of you developing disease, like autoimmune diseases, are also kind of there. The science in that is kind of like not enough study there. But just like if you think about it, kind of makes sense. But obviously there needs to be more study there. But there's also like kind of telling you it might happen. So there's also that. And common sense wise, if you think about it, also makes sense somewhat. So yeah, I don't know, like being overweight is always a problem, right? And there's also psychological element. There is like feeding a loop that'll make you fat even more and more, which is whole another battle in itself.
Fire. The inflammation molecules and fatty acids rip countless tiny wounds into the insides of your blood vessels, which leads to plaques that desperately try to close them. This narrows your blood vessels and reduces the flow of oxygen-rich blood. Inflammation also causes your blood pressure to rise, so your heart has to work harder and your risk of heart attacks or strokes increases massively. To make things worse, your fat organ's hormone production gets out of whack.
Weightlifting kinda helps with that a lot. It's not going to cure it, but recent studies implies that if you weightlift, not talking about cardio by the way, cardio helps, weightlifting helps a lot. I mean, if you look at the history, it would just make sense. You didn't need study to know this, but there is a study for this out, like multiple studies. Weightlifting is insanely important for your health. Like this is not going to cure you, but it will like protect you at an insane level. Like like the Kurzgesagt just said, your heart is working insanely high, your blood pressure is really high. Chances of you clocking out is there. It's like Russian roulette any time now. If you weightlift, your heart is stronger now. Your muscles and like hormones, the way it interact. Weightlifting also like alters your hormone at a certain level. It will like create this kind of protective layer on it. Let's just say 80% protective layer. There's still that 20% chance, but there's a higher chance blood pressure won't be an issue for you, even if you're fat like this. I've seen people like, I'm just going to run, I'm just going to do cardio and lose all the weight. Start with weightlifting. You don't want to do that as well. Don't worry about like just weightlifting and eating in surplus, which is counterintuitive. But just weightlift. You don't need to eat in surplus. Weightlift and have a calorie deficit, decent calorie deficit, 400-500 calories. Don't just go insane 1,000 calorie deficit and like you will have loose skins and everything. Might take a longer time for you to get lean. 5 years ago was COVID. What is your hurry? I don't even. It surprised me that it's been 6 years, not 5 years now. Time flies. You don't need to get lean in 6 months.
Like leptin, the satiety hormone. With a healthy amount of fat, leptin tells your brain when you have enough energy storage, can eat less and spend more energy. But if you have too much fat, instead of becoming less hungry, your brain becomes resistant against the constant flood of leptin. This breaks your internal food thermostat, which is one of the reasons why many people who are overweight feel intense hunger. Their fat is screaming at their brain that they have enough, but the brain is not hearing the message anymore. Your sex hormones also get out of whack, testosterone is lowered while estrogen is overproduced. In women, this increases the risk of breast cancer significantly. Most people are not aware how much the risk of cancer rises with excess fat.
I just said that a few minutes ago.
In the US, almost 10% of all cancers are directly related to
There are more cells, like even by that basic math, its chances increase.
being overweight or obese. And to top this off, obese cancer patients have much worse outcomes, succumbing to the disease more often and sooner. None of this is great, but even worse is what happens to one of your most important hormones.
Think like this, you have an off-road vehicle, you're like going through puddles, mud and like rocky areas where your car is flooded with people. It will off-road, but now there's a struggle.
Insulin. When the hormone world explodes. Insulin is a hormone produced by your pancreas that tells your cells to open their tiny mouths and eat up glucose from your blood. It's your body's way of screaming, dinner time. Disastrously bombarded.
Insulin also one of the most instrumental thing that people have misconception about. People, insulin spike, GI index bullshit. All right. Insulin spike is one thing people panic about. I don't want insulin spike, but I want to grow muscle. I want to burn. Insulin spike is important if you want to grow muscle, burn fat. Insulin. Don't worry about insulin spikes. He's explaining here how insulin works. You don't need to worry about insulin spikes. This is what pissed me off in the modern times. People come to me all the time like insulin spike. Like what do you eat? What about GI index? Don't worry about all that bullshit. If you don't have insulin spikes, you're not going to grow muscle. That's kind of important.
By the stress from your excess fat, cells all over your body become insulin resistant, worse at eating glucose and taking up energy. Your body tries to compensate by pumping out more insulin, screaming louder. This can go on silently for many years and progress to prediabetes with no or only subtle symptoms like fatigue or hunger. But as the damage accumulates, eventually your body just can't keep up anymore. something breaks and you get type 2 diabetes.
That was the insulin spike, but that wasn't the reason. Correlation causes, and this is where people mistaken, right? It doesn't cause it, it correlates with it, right? The problem caused more insulin to go up. Insulin going up didn't do this shit. The insulin spikes are not the issue. If you're healthy, if you're fine, insulin spike is not something you need to worry about.
The cells responsible for insulin production are so overworked that they stop functioning properly and eventually give in. Your insulin crashes drastically and your body can't compensate. While the blood is now saturated with glucose, yet you're starving and feel exhausted and unwell. Imagine this as trillions of tiny sharp shards floating through you, damaging your blood vessels, nerves and organs, causing slow but constant damage everywhere. At this point, your body is so chronically inflamed that almost all organ systems are affected. The kidneys are overwhelmed, making you pee way more. Your vision gets blurry, your immune system is severely weakened, wounds heal slower, dying nerves lead to numbness and pain. You may experience shortness of breath, chest discomfort, erectile dysfunction and high blood pressure, problems with your memory, focus, mood and even depression. Your risk of developing just about every possible deadly disease goes through the roof. On average, type 2 diabetes shaves 10 years off your life and reduces your health span massively, arguably as much as smoking. If current obesity trends continue, up to 1 in 3 Americans will have diabetes by 2050. There is no nice way to put this. Excessive fat strains nearly every organ system in your body, ages you much quicker, and often leads to multi-system damage and dysfunction. And yet, fat is still mostly discussed through the lens of aesthetics first and health second. Which is kind of bad.
That's just social stigma, isn't it? Like, not social stigma, that's just human nature and also social stigma. People only cares about how they'll. We are social creature. We care about what people think of us in the end of the day. It depends how much you care, obviously, but there is the element of that. You're not going to worry about your health because you can't see it. You can't see next 10 years. You can't really feel that, so you're not going to care about health at that level, but you're going to care about how people see you tomorrow. This is why aesthetic usually comes first, then health. But they all go hand in hand together. So if you look good, you're probably healthy. There is a good chance of that. Unless you went extreme with looking good, which means you're really unhealthy now. There's extremes on both ends. People don't realize that, like, if you do certain things and be pro level ripped, you're probably much unhealthier than even the average guy. Because of all the things you take, the level of less fat you have, yeah, it's just not good. Your hormones are shutting down.
Baffling, considering that most, if not all, of the toxic effects of your excess fat basically go away as soon as you lose it and start eating a healthy-ish diet. Once your fat cells contract again, they stop being stressed and your immune system calms down. The excess blood fat and sugar drops to normal levels and your body recovers. Even if you already have full-blown diabetes type 2, by losing weight you can reverse many of the negative effects and drastically improve your health and lifespan. So, if you've been waiting for a push to get started, now is the time.
Okay.
Feeding your body nutritious food keeps it healthy. The same goes for what you feed your mind. When you swap mental junk food for a power-packed diet of ideas and problem-solving, you can finally...
Yeah, well, go to original video page and from there support this channel. This also reminded me of one thing. People say eat healthy and you're like, what the fuck that means? There is more to it than that. It's about lifestyle. You can't just eat healthy and be healthy. You can eat bananas. For 100 bananas, you're going to be fat. If you eat healthy, chances of you eating that in excess calories much less. And if you eat healthy, that's a mindset. Like now you're in a certain, let's just say you wake up. You eat something, then you play a video game, then you do nothing, sit on your chair. This is a whole routine of yours, which is not good. But if I were to tell you, wake up, go for a jog, will that make you lean? No, just fuck it, go for a jog. And then like just have a black coffee. Okay, is that gonna no? Just have a black coffee. Go to a gym, go to workout, hang out with your friends, come home. This is your life now. A week, 2 weeks, your life changed. Your lifestyle completely changed. Now that will help you in over time, all the things that you added. But those are not the only thing that is helping you. Entire lifestyle changed. Your mentality changed. Whatever junk food your mindset needed, like I need to have this, is no longer there. That's what's going to help you, the longevity of it. People focus on like, oh, I'm just going to eat healthy and not change anything, or my mindset, it's just the food that I'm swapping. That's not going to work. You're not going to keep at it, and even if you do, you'll feel shitty and depressed. You need this like as a challenge. This is my life. I play a video game and I have achievements. I play a video game, I finish quest, and it just mission accomplished. Think about that. Now you're playing video game in your real life. There are missions and achievements you need to do. Focus on that shit. Don't just eat, like junk food. Now you have a quest. Eat healthy, change your life. What else you gonna do anyway? Okay, this is a video game level thing. Do that. If you think like that, you'll fail now. Then you fail again. Mission hasn't finished yet. You check the mission log. It's still there. Keep going until mission is finished. Mission is finished when you look at yourself. Your life is completely changed. I was insanely fat 12 years ago. I remember eating Domino's cheese burst pizza, two of them, 10-inch, two of them, which is combined calorie of 4,000 in one sitting. I just ate it. Oh, I have another pizza. Ate it again. Right now, I can't even finish one piece of that. Out of 6 pieces, if I eat 3, I can't touch the 4th one. I feel weird. There was a time I ate 2 pizza like that. I changed my mindset. I changed my life in this way. And I didn't care about gaining muscle. This is like a like a offshoot. I didn't start for this. I didn't care about gaining muscle. I never cared. It just happened. People like, how did you, like, even in real life, how do you have so much muscle? What did you think of? I didn't thought about it. I just started lifting because I wanted to do that. I just thought I'm changing myself. I'm changing my lifestyle. 10 years later, here I am. Right? So I don't know, like you need to do all this shit, and fat is not that easy. It's not just easy like, oh, I'll just do this and fat will decrease. That doesn't how it work. You need to change mindset. Don't think about now. Think about like this, like if you're painting something, puzzles, let's just say puzzles. You have 1,000 puzzle piece. Oh my God, how I'm going to do this? Okay, let's start with piece by piece. Don't think about the end result. If you think about end result, you won't pick up even one piece. This is impossible. You see, like I'm climbing the mountain and you see the peak of the mountain. Oh, fuck me, I'm never doing that. Just see what's in front of you. See that tree, let's walk until then. Let's walk until there. Maybe let's put a camp there, chill out, drink coffee, and carry on. In 2 days, I'm there. That's how you go through transformation. Don't think about the end. You can never do that. One of the biggest depression driver is to worry about how that gonna end, like how I'm gonna achieve that. Let's worry about now and the next step. Don't worry about the last step. If you think about that, like you're not gonna do this. Alright, well, if you like my lesson, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.